Okay, so it's real important in the beginning when we start that we get him into neutral position and he has patience. This is really important for Malloy as well.
Right.
That you can start like this, that you can turn away from them just like you are, and that he can hang out even that his head goes down just a little bit and he's like, oh, okay. So that's where you start from for all your groundwork.
Oh, okay.
If this isn't working, don't go on to any active groundwork. Work on the patience game and backup and making sure your backup is soft. So let's see a wiggle rope and see how soft his backup is. Good, not too bad. I'd give that a B because it had some wiggle. Very good. All right, now from that position, you want to think about which way you want to send him. I would encourage you to step towards the nostril that you want to move. Take one step, now raise that stick up and high. Stand still, keep the stick going. Go, 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 good. The only correction I would make to that is that you kind of came in and the stick went right at his eye. I would have come in and opened the stick and started further away from him.
Okay.
So speed him up, hind quarter, and put him back in neutral position. Go ahead and ask him to trot. Follow through with you're doing great with your rhythm. Good, tag him to trot him if he's not listening. Keep standing up straight. That's much better. Tap, 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 there. Now hind quarter. Good, your hands were a little bit better that time and high. And now breathe. This is the important reset part. Now this time with your stick, put it more at about, if you're facing him at 12, put it more at 3 o'clock. There you go. Now start it, step towards his nostril. Bring the stick between you and your body if you need to. So it starts out at 3 and then it sweeps back to 12.
Okay.
That's going to be really critical in keeping the front end and the shoulders off of you. So if you're having the trouble that the horse is cutting in or wanting to come towards you, this is the exercise you would do. That's much better. That correction was better there. So now let's remember our suggest, ask, tell, and insist. So hang on one second. I'm gonna wait till the blower goes away so the video can hear me better. So yes, you just said that right. You put it in neutral, the stick. Now you've suggested, you can even remember the series that we're using under saddle to get him to go, which is what? What's the first thing we're doing with him? We're saying walk on or trot on
Walk on.
Okay, so he's walking, we want to do trot. So get your stick quiet and use your word trot, then use your stick soft, medium, and firm.
Trot.
One at a time. Now medium. Now firm. Release, good. Now slow him down with a wiggle and keep him out on the circle. Now repeat the process. Say the word trot, use your stick. Good, stick very soft. Then medium. There, see how that time he got more responsive, so repeat it again. Say trot, soft stick. Do you see how he's way more responsive just by repeating that 3 times? He's not keeping the trot, but he's way more responsive.
Right.
So this time, if he breaks gait, just ask him again with the stick, not your voice. Good. I like the way you kept that nose out there. That was great.
Trot.
Good. Then stick, soft. Good. A little firmer till he actually trots. Good. Now, if he breaks gait before you ask him, just use your stick. Now slow him down with a wiggle. Perfect. So one of the key components here is not only do you get him soft going up, but that you slow him down before he wants to after he's offered some energy.
Right.
Because that way then he knows, oh, okay, the way I get to go slower is by listening to my mom.
Right.
That was really nice.
Yeah. No, that's not your mom. You're confused. It's okay. She had the treats.
He's asking the question, are you going to be clear and consistent? Because I don't have a lot of information about this. I've been doing this, you know, a month maybe, off and on. He was with me for 2 weeks and gone for 2 weeks and back, you know. So now he's with another person and now he's about to change a location. So like we talked about, you don't have to be perfect, but you've got to be clear.
Right.
And even if you think you're doing it wrong, pick something and think you're doing it right. But this, you can't do too much of this in the beginning to say, hey, get off me. And then when you're alone, get in the habit of turning your shoulder to him instead of staring at him while he stands in patience. Instead of staring, you want to expect it.
Right, right.
So sometimes I'll put him in patience and get him off me, and then I'll do something like check my phone or return a phone call.
Yeah.
Then I'll turn and face them. Good. How soft is he to back up?
Good boy.
There you go. So now same thing going to this direction. When you decide you're ready to go, you're going to face him. You're going to do the offer with the lead rope, the hand that's holding the lead rope. And then you want to start your stick and string out more at this time, 9 o'clock if he's 12.
Yep.
And then as you bring it in, you're going to step towards that nostril and eye in a straight line. And then your stick and string will end up between you and him as it sweeps from 9 to 12 to say you've got to take your front end out to the circle is actually out where his hind feet are.
Right.
Okay, so whenever you're ready. Good, good. Now bring that stick closer in and higher and closer and higher, higher and harder. You can twirl overhand. There.
And then he gets to break.
Yes, now you can speed him up. Let's have a bigger walk.
That's a good one. Walk.
So yep, you can use walk on or walk and
Walk
then
on.
stick. So if we want to build in some verbal, we've got to use the words first. We don't have to build in verbal. We can build in body language. So you could stand up and, you know, be more like you were in the saddle about to drive him forward. Then you could follow that body posture with a stick and string.
Walk on.
Good. Okay. Now try your trot. Yep.
And trot.
Firm up. Firm up. Your last use of the stick should be firmer than your first.
Right.
Okay, so words.
Trot.
Good, good. You had to correct that nose. That was great, Freddie. So now try again. Try trot, then stick. Stick is quiet. Word.
Trot.
Because one day, if you don't give him a nanosecond between the word and the stick, you'll never know if he can follow off of the verbal.
Right.
Okay? So go again.
Trot.
Whoops, nose first. Always got to have directions. Don't be afraid to step towards that nose. That's where Malloy got you.
Right.
Okay?
Trot.
Good. Good. The last use of your stick should be firmer than the first.
Right.
This next time when you trot, if he breaks, then just go to a firmer stick to say, no, sorry, we were trotting.
Trot.
Good. Now, if he breaks, just go to that medium pressure and say, I'm sorry, we were trotting. Good.
I mean, I see when he's going to break. Should I let him?
Wait for him to break and do it just as he steps into the walk.
Trot.
Good. And no verbal for a correction,
Okay.
just the stick. Verbal when we're asking. Good. And correct. Good. And now you slow him down. Super.
Good boy. No. Whoopsie. Sorry.
Good.
Wrong it, but trot.
So now that we've got our trot working and you've got a little bit of maintenance, you can start to play with 2 speeds of trot, the fast trot and the slow. And how he knows this difference between whether to stay in the fast trot or whether to slow down is the posture of your body. So if we were trotting faster, you know, our posture would be in a posting position, you know, and our energy would be up. If we wanted to slow him down to a slower trot, we'd lower our energy in our body. Good, correct that. A little firmer. Say, come on, trot on. Good. Okay, now a fast trot. Good. Keep your energy up. Chest up. Like, yeah, we're going somewhere. Good. Now slow him down to a slow trot, but don't let him break. Don't let him break. Oh, slow trot. We were trotting slow. There. Now down to a walk. Yep. Nose out, nose out. Good. Step towards him. That's it. Great, Freddy. Okay?
Yeah.
Now trot and hindquarter.
Trot.
Good. You used your stick and your voice at the same time. They'll get blurry. So make sure they're separate. So now hindquarter, eyes and body first. Hand up high towards the hip. Yes. Great. Now when you came in and you said you wanted the rheostat, now the horses have rheostat. Now we need to make sure you have rheostat.
Right.
And so the ability to turn it up slow and then keep it getting louder and then turn it back down.
Yeah, and I saw that I was saying go, and then I was sort of backing off a little bit.
Yeah.
Almost like I was waiting for it, but I shouldn't wait for it.
You shouldn't wait for it. You only wait for it after you clearly ask. So if you say the word trot, you should wait for it.
Right.
If you start soft with the stick while you've got the rhythmic pressure and your stick is moving soft,
but you shouldn't stop that pressure.
Correct.
You should only increase that pressure.
Correct.
If he doesn't do it. You only stop the pressure when he does it.
Correct, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's why I like that suggest, ask, tell, and insist. So the suggestion is the word, trot.
Yeah.
Then the ask is a very soft stick that's just kind of going up and down. And I keep it at that up, down, could you please trot now? And if he doesn't at the ask, I'm waiting while I'm keeping my soft rhythm. Then when I say, I'm gonna tell you to trot, then it's getting a little more busier and I'm using rhythmic pressure at the same level and my string is starting to get involved. So it's like, you need to trot now. And I'm waiting at that pressure level to see what his response is.
So you give him a chance at each level, but you don't let the pressure
don't back the pressure down till I get a response.
And that can be a physical thing too.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, it's sometimes, oh, okay, the left hand's done this, and the left hand's done this, and the left hand's not feeling like it's going to do this for much longer.
Yes, exactly. And that's when you feel like your left hand isn't going to do it for much longer, that's the time to go up a phase so you can get through it faster. So the way we soften horses is by giving them less and less time to respond. We don't take away the time to respond, we just make it smaller and smaller. So it's just like if you were trying to turn your radio in the car up or down, you just turn and, somebody maybe couldn't hear it,
Probably the shower is a better thing.
Okay.
We're not as sensitive maybe you're more sensitive to sound. I'm definitely, you go and you want to turn that shower just a little bit warmer. Yeah. But you don't go like this, and the next thing you know, you're scalded, and then you go back down. Exactly. You don't just whip it up and down. You don't just go to hot and then turn it back to cold and enjoy the shower. Yeah. You kind of have to hold it. Smart. You go a little increment.
Yeah. And then you wait, because it takes a minute for that more hot water. So that's a great analogy. So keep that analogy in mind for yourself on how you've got to develop rheostat on the ground and in the saddle. Yesterday you did a great job of finding it. That first trot off with Malloy was too much. He's just like, wah! The head came up and he's like, wah! And then you didn't have another one the rest of your riding because you were softly. And you can use verbal or you can use other things. You can pick what your suggest is. So mine, I can't use words because I'm teaching. Right. So mine literally is just sit up. Yeah, I just sit up and I'm tipping, I tip ever so slightly forward. It feels like there's a little breeze at my back and it's like, hey, are you coming with me? And then I'll go on to my rest of my cue set. And depending when the last time I rode my horse is, depends on the level of my correction. If I rode you yesterday and you warmed up really well with groundwork and you were very responsive, I would expect that. But if I get on and your groundwork was terrible and I haven't ridden you in 2 weeks, I would give you more time to respond. And that's just what's going to be important with this guy. Yeah, because he just doesn't have a lot of knowledge base. Yeah. The knowledge base that he has is very, very good, but it's limited compared to the 9 years of life he had before he met us. So he just needs clarity. He doesn't need wimpiness. He doesn't need babying. He literally just needs, hey, this is, I need you to do this. And then the question always is, why are you not responding? And it's usually a couple of things. One, do you understand? Right. And many times I found with him, he didn't understand. The number two is, do I have your attention? He tends to go internal more than, where Malloy's like, what's that? What's that? What's that? He tends to just kind of go to the inside. Another reason is physical. Is there a physical reason? Are you physically tired? How many days have I ridden you? What kind of work have we done? Have you built up your muscles? You know, and then the last one sort of is, you know, how's your emotional set? Are you willing to do this? And so if you break it down like that, it makes it a lot easier. It becomes more like you're investigating instead of you're, you know, beating him up for something. But he's phenomenal in that once you explain something to him and you take a little extra time, he gets it. Yeah. And, you know, I feel like his lessons go deep for him. Yeah. All right.
Well.
Yep. This isn't even walk. This is just take. That's perfect. You never want to get closer to the nose than your stick. So as you step forward and push on that nose, you get your stick, swing it up to 12 o'clock.
And walk on. Okay, we'll give you one rub. Now walk on.
Yep. So if he's like scratching himself or pooping, whatever level I was at of pressure, then I stay at that level. Okay? So I'd go ahead and speed him up. Soft, medium, firm, and it can go that fast. Okay, good. Now layer on the canter. Word, pause, stick, pause. Yeah, you kind of did it all at the same time and you started with a firm pressure, but keep going. Go ahead and tag him with that overhanding, flipping rope, standing up tall, belly button leading. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going.
Canter.
Good. There, reward. What? All right, so stop for just a second with a nice hind quarter.
Okay, can I the first time I did the first time I recognized that I said canter, but then I, when he took it, I didn't completely stop.
Right, so you dulled the cue.
I dulled the cue.
Yeah.
I realized that the second time.
And then did you see?
I didn't ask him at a later point.
And then did you see he would canter, but he'd only keep cantering while the stick was active.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
So to fix that, we're going to have to be more precise, but we're actually going to have to get firmer and put our reward in quicker.
Okay.
So he's already duller, so you could use canter, but then I would go to a firmer phase of pressure. My ask is going to be firmer. My tell's going to come quickly. Okay. And then the moment he canters, I'm going to try to put my stick down. Yep. And if he breaks the canter, I'm not going to ask him again. I'm going to go to an insist phase and say, no, you're cantering.
Okay, so that's, I guess, where I'm a little, if he breaks, then I just go right to insist?
Right to tell or insist.
Tell or insist.
Right. Right now he's dull, so I know you're going to have to go firmer.
Right.
When we were working on the trot maintenance, he was softer, so I knew you could get it with just an ask or a tell. Yeah, your phases were working softer. Right now when it comes to canter, he's duller. He's taking a higher stick.
Then if he takes it right away from the ask and I let him off, then the next time would I go to a lower?
Yes. When he gets when he starts to show some responsiveness off of a soft cue, the next time you ask, you put it in softer. So that's what we were talking about yesterday with your seat and leg. You know, the first leg you put on Malloy.
So here's part of it. I don't know if this is going to sound crazy, but as you can see, I can think it through, but I need to be in neutral to think it through.
Yes.
So it's very hard when I'm out, you know, when the Army's out in the field, you know, you're responding, and the response isn't always correct. And if you get yourself in a complete muddle doing it, do you just look for a point where you can?
Absolutely. I hind quarter, I get back to neutral, I do just like you do. I turn my body away from him and I think it through.
Yeah.
I visualize. I'm like, okay, and sometimes
so even if he's done it wrong or you couldn't get him back up into the canter, just ask him for something else and
get him down. And particularly if your arm's getting tired, you're not doing him any favors by wailing and getting nothing.
Right.
Shut it down. A hind quarter is what you go back to.
Go back to the hind.
Get him stopped. And then you can always start getting better responsiveness at slower gaits and then go back to building the canter gait.
Right.
That's a great thing because our heads get muddled and sometimes we get lost.
You know, you just start and I'm going, and then you go, I'm doing this wrong, I need to take a...
So if I get all discombobulated, my rope, my string gets wrapped around my stick, I'm out of position, he's getting duller, or the other spectrum is getting wilder, I just go, okay, we're gonna, you know, if he's duller, I go at least speed up, then hindquarter. If he's got a lot of energy like Malloy, I go, thanks for that energy, I'm gonna use a hindquarter. So that's where we talk about Dublin and Malloy are so different, because Dublin doesn't have a lot of energy on the surface, and Malloy has a lot of energy on the surface. I've brought them both through series of work, I've brought them both closer together, but Dublin always errs on less energy, and Malloy typically errs on too much energy. So with Dublin, if he doesn't have enough energy, I've got to get something. I don't have to get the canter, but at least speed up, and then I'll hindquarter from speed. The place where you really take a duller horse, a lower energy horse, and make them duller is by hindquartering when they're slowing down.
Oh, okay.
And that's an advanced concept.
Okay.
Because
that makes sense. So at least get something a little more forward.
Yes.
And then hindquarter.
Yes.
Even if you don't get the canter.
Yeah, absolutely.
You get a more forward trot. They're not moving into the canter, but yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right, mister.
Pointed out his lower lip is hanging, but if you remember, this horse tucked his lip. Remember, we didn't even know if he had a lower lip when he was first here. That, you know, that mouth was always tight, but now that mouth is starting to be softer. So one of his indicators of if he's going internal is what is he doing with that bottom lip.
Oh, okay. If he starts bringing it in.
Yeah, if that lip starts coming in and that nose starts to pucker, he's thinking about getting into trouble. And what I do when that happens is I usually just get his feet moving.
Right.
Because he's going, oh, I don't know, and he usually start to suck in. And I usually go, just move your feet.
Okay. All right. Here we go.
So get him to leave with some life. That's it. Go on. Good, good, good. Much better. Reward. So by going ahead and right away, since he's dull, and insisting that we get more life, it's going to make us more successful. So same for the, good, good, good. Now go on to the trot.
Trot.
Good. Follow through. Go on. Good. Good. Now you slow him down to the walk. So sometimes when I've had trouble getting a horse going, I'll get them going with some life in order to say, you know why you had to trot today? Because I need to slow you down. And then he goes, oh, well, that's all I want to do anyway, so thanks. So do that 2 more times. Speed him up to a trot. Soft. Oh, that was great, Freddy. Again.
Trot.
Good. Now this time if he breaks, just use the stick. Faster trot. Go on. There. Fast, super fast trot, and then you slow him down. Good. Give him a half a circle to trot, then you slow him down to a walk. Good.
Do you use the word when you're slowing him down too?
It's up to you. I don't, because I'm often teaching and talking about something else. But if you want that in the saddle, put it in on the ground.
Okay.
Like the word whoa or the word easy, those are fine. But put them in consistently. All right, so let's go for trot, and from the trot, let's go for canter. And do remember that when it's time to canter, we don't have to shout the word canter. We could use it at the same tone that we did walk, and that our stick needs to start soft, but it might get firm really quickly so our arm doesn't exhaust.
Okay. Trot.
Good, good. That was a little firm, but keep it getting firmer. There, reward, and now the... Whoops, correct. That's right. You had to correct it. Good. Keep going. Don't quit. Smack the ground hard. A couple times. Hard. There. Okay. Keep going. Okay, now slow him down. All the way to a walk. Good. One circle at the walk. Let your arm relax. Breathe. Make sure you've got enough energy to go for the canter again. Good job. That timing there, Freddy, was perfect. All right, make sure you've got the energy. Make sure your body language is thinking. Oh, did you see him speed up just when you raised your energy up? That's lovely. Good.
Oh, that was wrong. Sorry.
That's all right. And later you can work on walk to canter. If you want to do that under saddle, do it on the ground.
Canter.
Ah, wait on him. Okay, firm it up. Good. And again.
Canter.
Okay. And then hind quarter. Good, because your stick got all kind of tangled up there. Your attention went away from him, and that was perfectly fine.
It's on.
Okay, so I'm going to ask him to leave. And here I'm going to go ahead and ask him to leave with a little bit of energy. That's a little too much. A little too much. Good boy. So here I'm going to lift. Good boy. Nose out, nose out, nose out. Shoulder over. Thank you.
Oops.
Trot. Good boy. Trot on. So there, when he broke the trot, I used a different word and just kind of corrected him. Okay, now canter. I'm asking, now I'm telling. There it is, but we were cantering, so I'm going to tell again. I don't care about the lead right now. Nope, we were cantering. We were cantering. We were cantering. Thank you. Now we need a hind quarter. Good. Good. I'll let him think on that a minute. Nope, too close. Too close. Too close. Thank you. Okay, so we're going to repeat. Good boy. Trot. Thank you. Canter. Thank you. Go right onto a hind quarter because he went right into that canter, but he was on the wrong lead in the back. So I'm going to back him up and just check the other side just to check the lead. Ask the nose out. Take that nose out. Thank you. Good boy. Got him. Good. Canter. Medium. Nice. We were cantering. Don't pull on me. We were cantering. Don't pull on me. We were cantering. I don't care that it's the wrong lead. We were cantering. We were cantering. Don't pull on me. Canter. And high. Good boy. I should have had my hand up just a hair higher for that. Good boy. Now I'm going to go back this way. Offer. Lift. Push. Push. Thank you. I'm going to hind quarter and repeat that because I had to use too much pressure. I didn't like how much pressure I had to use. Thank you. I could even back him a step. Say, hey, get your feet freed up a little bit. Open the door. Step and push. Thank you. Lift. Thank you. Good boy. How about a little bend? And keep going. Thank you. And your canter. Wrong in the back. Canter. That's right. Lead in the back. Canter up. Canter up. Waiting to see if you can get that hind quarter. lead in the front and the back. So I rested and let him come down. Now the trick there, the one thing I changed my angle, because he was not getting that hind foot under, instead of having my stick up high to push him, I started pushing a little bit lower, see if I could cause this inside hind leg to come under more.
Yeah.
So that's why I had my stick down there lower at the end.
Good.